Hi, travelers. Tara here, and I'm going to come to you today with a follow up and an open reading. It has been, it's only Tuesday. I can't believe it's only Tuesday. I feel like I've run 5,000 miles between Sunday and today. So, first thing I want to go over with you, remember those election readings that I did, and the one of those cards that kept coming up about the news about the faked election is runs throughout the city. Let me see. We got my little book right here, and I was only under the impression, and I don't know why I was under the impression of having this impression, but that this was only going to be going on. Him saying that the election, 45 saying that the election was fake or whatever, that there's something wrong with it, was only going to be going on leading up to the actual election. And that once the actual election occurred, he would zip his lip. But apparently that's not what has been happening. And so, let me see. I'm trying to see which one of these I think it goes back to a reading that I conducted on, I think this was August. It was actually September 1st. And my question was, what are the energies surrounding a possible Democratic presidential win for 2020? And the cards that came out were the Emperor, the Ace of Moons, and the Papess, or she's like what do you call her? She's not like the High Priestess. And the overall energy was the Burning Tower. And the first card, the Quatrain, he will raise up the humble and harry the rebels. No one on earth will be his equal. And supposedly there was a prophetic reference to Lincoln, Napoleon, and King Henry V of France. That related to the Emperor card. And I'm still not quite exactly sure how that fits in terms of what is happening right now. The second card, the Quatrain, said, people gather to see the newest spectacle. This is the Ace of Moons. And I think this has to do with the idea of 45 and his team of lawyers that are trying to get the election overthrown. They're trying to change the results. And some of his supporters actually stalking and harassing some of the officials, the people that are working the jobs to recount. I know my best friend came down right before Thanksgiving from San Antonio, and she was telling me that they were on the highway, what they call the Trump train, and they blocked all 6 lanes of the highway going down the street, doing 40 miles an hour, 35, she said, 35 miles an hour, holding up traffic all over the place. And to me, that people gather to see the newest spectacle. It's the more that he talks about it, the more that he tries to, and I basically think what he's doing is he's trying to stay relevant, and he's raising a boatload of money, but he's using this idea that he's collecting the money on this idea that whenever they do a recount or they go to court, that it's going to alter the outcome, and that is not going to happen. So that leads me to wonder why it is that he's collecting all of this money. So that's the newest spectacle. He's using this idea of the election not being a valid election to raise more money. So it's a spectacle now. He's got all of these. Y'all see Rudy Giuliani on TV with his hair dye coming down the side of his face. Anyway, okay, so that speaks to me about that. It says princes and kings with worshipful attendants. And then the last one, which was the Papis, this quatrain is rather odd to me. When the great queen enters the depths, she renders the place powerful and inaccessible. Now, supposedly this had to do with Mary Tudor and the fight at the Cinque Ports, which was the 5 ports. I'm not brushed up on my history. I can see it in my head, but I can't give you the whole story. So I'm still kind of wondering how this female comes into play, the Papis or the Papist. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I did a reading for Jessica Adams today, and I think she's going to post it on her YouTube channel. So I'm going to link her channel in the description box below. And the card that I pulled was Fortuna in the Sibila deck, and that is a female figure. So I'm just kind of curious as to, I don't know timing in the tarot, how things are going to play out necessarily, or when they're going to play out. But there is this idea that there's going to be a female who steps forward, who will be shepherding the United States into a new way of being, okay? And so that is kind of the story, the reading that I did for Jessica on her channel. So again, I'm going to link her channel, and really you should follow or subscribe to her channel, and I'm going to link that below. Also, she has over on the Meetup app, she has the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. She's going to be doing something live. I think it's going to be here on YouTube if I'm not mistaken. So this is another reason why you should subscribe. Website members, those of you who have gotten your charts from me, now would be a good time for you to subscribe to her channel. See if you can get in to the event, because when she announces, they fill up super fast. So I'm going to link the Meetup group there. Maybe you can still get in, and then take your charts and be ready to go over to her channel, because she's going to be taking questions. And she's going to be doing follow-up on Twitter. So if you don't got Twitter, you should get Twitter, okay? All right. And then for me on December 12th, there's going to be a psychic fair that's going on, and it's online. It is also in the Meetup app. There are going to be psychics and readers from all around the world, where you're going to get an opportunity to come in and pick a reader and to get a reading. Now, I'm still waiting on word of whether or not this is going to be free, or whether or not the readings will be paid. But as far as I understand it, I think it's going to be free. But I'm going to double check on that, and I will post here in the community, so stay tuned for that. And I will also post the answer. I will send out a newsletter. I'm waiting to hear back from the organizer. She called me yesterday. She lives in, I want to say Oregon. Her name is Kim. So hi, Medium Kim, if you're watching this. It's, I promised you that I would get this up, and it took me 24 hours to get it done, but here it is. So that's December 12th, and I'm going to link the group for that, the Psychic Fair, online fair, also in the description box. So 3 links: Jessica's channel, her Meetup group for the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, December 21st, 2020. That's not the date that it's occurring. Yeah, it is. It's occurring that day. And then we're going to be doing it live as it happens. Jessica's going to be doing it live as it happens. And then the Psychic Fair, which is December 12th, also on Meetup, okay? So if you guys want to get a reading, even if you're someplace around the world, you want to jump in, and this is going to be conducted on Zoom, if I'm not mistaken. So, oh, what's wrong? Stop it. My camera's doing weird things. And so this will be an opportunity for you to get in and get some readings done. I'm going to be there as a reader, so you can also come in, and maybe you might be able to hit me up, and we can do a quick reading as well. So with that being said, I am going to bring you guys a little open reading right quick. I am behind on the December 12 months, okay? But I'm working on it. I slammed my thumb in the garage yesterday, so I'm not able to shuffle the cards. I like to shuffle and pull so y'all can see me do it. So what I've done is I've just kind of approached the cards and asked them to show me what we might be able to, what might be occurring, what energies are going to be at play within the next week to 2 weeks, okay? Before this conjunction. This conjunction is going to be huge, okay? Huge. So, oh, and again, let me remind you, I know a lot of times y'all are expecting things to happen if you've got factors right then and there. Sometimes it works that way, sometimes it doesn't. So the best thing that advice I can give you is try to get in on Jessica's thing, because you're going to learn a lot. It's going to be well worth your time and effort to get into this if you can get in, okay? So turn it around, and then I'm just going to start pulling the cards because my thumb is jank. All right, here we go. First card down, the Empress. Ooh, the Eight of Wands. Wow, the Two of Cups. I know my fingers are all wonky and it's hard for y'all to see it. Okay, next card down. Ooh, the Hierophant. I don't know, is somebody getting married? Or going to a wedding? Oh, well, the Eight of Cups has come up. But I think that's, I'll get to that in a minute. The Nine of Pentacles. The Six of Coins. Oh, wow, look at that. The Eight of Swords. Right down the center, I've got 3 eights: Wands, Cups, and Swords. Sometimes these cards make me laugh. And the Five of Cups. Well, so I have 2 5s, 3 8s, a 2, a 6, and a 9. What is over the reading? The Ace of Wands. Well, now, this is quite the reading. And the reason why I say that is whenever I see the Ace of Wands with the Empress, this, in my experience, it has always come up as a pregnancy. And maybe that's why this shotgun marriage is going on. Maybe that's why. Well, perhaps your mom paid for everything at the wedding. I don't know what this is about. There are no court cards here. So these two people may be your parents. So some of you may be getting the news that you're going to be a grandparent. That's interesting. I also feel here on this, remember, it's past, present, future, past, present, future. Then we have the interplay of the cards. 2 5s will speak to ups and downs, okay? Things just kind of going, it's very unstable energy. 5s is a number of change, but there's always a lot of tension and sometimes a bit of, not necessarily chaos, but erraticness to the changes that happen with the number 5. But also, the 5th house is about children. It is about, babies. I'm trying to think what I'm saying. Babies, teenagers, that junior demographic that is 20 plus years younger than you, godchildren, adopted children, nieces and nephews, in vitro fertilization, and sexual relationships in which you can become a parent. This is either by getting pregnant or somebody else having kids and you're having a blended relationship. So the 5th house is showing itself here. I think what is most prominent to me is this 8th house thing of right down the center. And as we know, the 8th house, well, if you don't know, I'm going to tell you, the 8th house rules, it's other people's money, okay? If the 2nd house rules your own personal finances, so these are the finances and the things your not resources, but whatever resources you have that you yourself personally own. The money that you earn, let's say from a side hustle, if you own your own house, or if you have your own 401k, or if you've got your own stocks and bonds, that's yours, right? But the 8th house says, when you meet somebody and you get married or you shack up, you have a relationship, then you blend all that stuff together, right? It's other people's money. So it rules things like alimony, child support, mortgages, right, that you've taken together. It rules insurance payouts. It rules inheritances. All of those, I've even seen lottery show up in this house, okay? So anything where other people's money, you're involved, or your money's mixed up with other people's money, or you're making a living from other people's money, or your life is better from other people's money, okay? Not the one you make on your own. So those two houses are opposite each other. And there's a lot going on here. So that 8th house energy is very, very strong. Now, the 2 of Cups comes in to say, I see somebody rushing in or traveling to or joining forces with someone, and they're doing it in a rather hurried fashion. I'm trying to get the cards for you. In a rather hurried fashion, no less. I don't know why I can't ever figure this out. There we go. Can you see that? All right. Or this could be the idea that mom's got to travel, got to get there quickly because the wedding's about to take place. Yeah? But right in the center is this idea, and this is a timing issue. So this to me goes back to, remember, eclipses come in pairs. So we had one on the full moon, which was November 30th. My calendar ain't never changed, right? And the next one will be on the 14th. It will be a new moon, and that will be a new moon solar eclipse, if I'm not mistaken. So this is happening between a few days ago out into the middle of the month. That's our whatever started at the beginning, it's going to be closing itself out by the middle of the month. Now, this can't be true for everybody. For some of you, this won't start until after the fact. Some of you may be already right in the middle of it. For some of you, this is, the timing is right in terms of what is happening now. But I think what I find to be most interesting is this, in the center, this 8 of Cups. Because the 8 of Cups is the card of feeling as though you need something new. You need something different in your life. I've been investing in that emotionally and doing this and doing that for the longest time, and it no longer holds any sway with me. I'm no longer excited about it. I'm no longer, I'm not interested anymore. And somebody walking off. Now, I don't know if somebody has left in the middle of the night, because that always stands out to me sometimes in this card. But they're going in search of what they feel, obviously, is either a better location or a better financial position. Okay? Now, this Ace of Wands did not fall next to the Empress. Okay? So that thing about the pregnancy, although it still stands true, for some of you, it doesn't hold true. This could be the idea that it is, you rushed into a marriage. For a while there, everything seemed to be good and everything was maybe fair, but then suddenly things started not becoming fair. Yeah, because this card is the card of give and take and of sharing. But you see in the card that the figure in the center is giving a lot to one person and giving nothing to the other person. So this card is also not about the act of giving, but it is also about the act of receiving. You're either giving too much to one person or one thing, or you're not receiving it back equally in what you've been giving out. I've seen this card show up when it's a player card. The 8 of Swords is this idea that, I'm in a position where either I have to put up with what's going on because I don't see a way out of it, or that you're worried about, I'm not going to be able to get my way out of it. Okay? But either way that it goes, these are only thoughts. They are not, it is not a reality. It is the windmills of your mind. I'm trapped in a situation and I can't get out of it. That's not true. If you will remove the bonds that tie you and remove the blindfold from your eyes, you will all of a sudden see that you are free and clear of whatever this thing is. And in fact, in this instance, I feel as though the swords behind her are sort of like a shield. So to me, it's like you're standing in one place and you don't know what to do, and you can't move because you're fearful of it, but yet at the same time, you can't see ahead of you. And so these swords are in effect, in this instance, and this hardly ever comes across for me in the 8 with this card, that is that the swords are actually protecting you. They're a shield right now. But again, you're going to have to be responsible for seeing your way out of this. And then we see this very, very sad 5 of Cups here, which I say is the 2 of Cups in disguise. See the 2 cups over here? So to me, this says that somebody kind of disappears out of sight, or they duck, they go down underground, they go away, so they're hiding their light under the bushel because they're lamenting and they're mourning these 3 cups that are spilled. See that? And this card says that really whatever has been spilled is the past, and you really shouldn't waste too much time lamenting these things, because the sooner you can come out of it, the sooner you can regain the balance of these 2 cups. Now, I don't know if this is occurring because there is a third party involved. I do have these 3 figures here. 1 in the center, 2 there. 1 in the center, 2 there. But also that this could be as well some type of contractual issue. Venus is the ruler of contracts, and she rules both the Empress and the Hierophant. So this could be a female-based business. Sometimes the Hierophant, because it can represent marriages and whatnot. See, she's single, right? She's also pregnant in this card, but I think that has to do with the idea of fertility. The seeds have been planted. She's sitting on the throne waiting for the harvest. So this sometimes can represent the summertime. But it could also represent the fall. Okay? Guarding over these things and watching over your crops until the fall, or holding on to that particular seed until the fall or the winter or the new spring comes. So this could also be about contractual issues here. Yes? But even still, this tells me that you kind of get shorted maybe, or that somebody walks away. And out of them walking away, like that's not enough, or that's not good enough for me, you still find yourself in some way in a very good position, literally and financially. You may have to pay something out, 6 coins. That's going to leave you 3, so all is not lost. Or maybe you got to give up, 2 of those coins and keep 7 of them for yourself. And I feel that what the 5 of Cups is actually speaking about is the idea, the sadness of having to just go through that. You ever been through a situation where you just like, why I have to go through that? I don't even know why I had to go through that. You ever been in one of those? Even though you're not that battered, you're not that bruised, it wasn't like down and dirty, it wasn't a, kicking and screaming, clawing, kind of a spitting kind of a thing. But even still, it's just the idea that whatever hope that you had for this partnership to work out, it did not work out, right? And in fact, you kind of maybe lost a little bit of something on there, yeah? And you're just kind of lamenting the fact that, wow, that's a shame. I really wish that this could have worked out, okay? That's kind of what I'm getting. So what I want to do is to first take a look to see if these pip cards, and there's my 2 major arcana, yeah? I do have 3 cups, so this tells me there's a lot of emotions or an emotional quality to this. There may even be a financial thing to it, but also what we've been doing or what I've been doing and how I've been doing it, or what reward did I get out of what I did, right? The wands are just the fire and the determination to move ahead quickly. Maybe this was some news about the partnership coming in. And then the swords are thinking about it. Sometimes this Eight of Swords can be obsessing about it. So we want to watch that energy as well. So I can look at all of these cards as they relate to these two. And so let me, I don't know what I'm doing, but let me get my book out. And take a look here. The first thing I want to do is see if what these Three of Wands mean next to this Hierophant. I'm sorry, next to this, if anything. Okay. Pentacles and Cups on all sides. No, that's not it. Well, it doesn't tell me anything about the Three of Wands being next to either two of these cards. Well, that's not true. Well, this is the Ace of Wands. And still that whole thing of the pregnancy still, because it says the Empress. I don't know why my camera keeps shutting off. I still ain't figured that out. Okay, the Empress and the Ace of... I'm sorry. The Empress and the... I don't see, that done threw me off. Now let me find it again. With the Ace of Wands. And I was about to say the Empress with the Ace of Wands and or the Three of Cups. But that's not correct. Okay? So now I want to look at the Two of Cups. I was about to give you the incorrect interpretation. The Two of Cups. Again, next to the Empress or with the Empress. Maybe implying news of a pregnancy or the birth of a child. This is so true. Okay? So now I'm really puzzled as to what this Eight of Cups is all about. So I'm going to look at it next. Then I'm going to pull some cards on it. Okay? The Eight of Cups tells me nothing next to these two major arcana cards, but what I can tell you, 3 eights in a spread tell of anxiety, hassles, obstacles, and delays. We see this thing moving quite suddenly, and then all of a sudden this Taurian energy comes in to kind of slow things down. This earth energy. You can't even see that. Hold on. This earth energy comes to kind of slow things down. Okay? So that's it about the Eight of Cups and the 3 eights. So now I want to look at the Nine of Pentacles. I don't know why they be doing the pentacles dirty and put them in the back of the book. I don't know. I did that too. Okay, so here we go. The Nine of Pentacles. Okay, tells me nothing. 6 of Pentacles. I think the cards are going to make me work for this. Nothing about the 6 of Pentacles. And now the 5 of Cups. Nothing. There's absolutely no extra meanings that I can get out of this with what the cards are telling me. So I can tell you that sometimes when this occurs, that means that there's something that isn't supposed to be revealed to you just yet. But I do have one other thing that I want to take a look at. A couple of other things, so bear with me for 1 second. All right, I don't see any movement in this spread except for the person walking away. It's all of these indications of marriage cards here. The Hierophant with the 2 of Cups, with the Ace of Wands. There's a lot of, however, there are no horses, right? Even these pentacles, there's this thing where pentacles come into play in a marriage. But I was just talking to you about the difference between the 2nd house and the 8th house. And this is all Scorpion 8th house energy. Okay? All of it. So I kind of get the sense that maybe some of you may be, 3 eights, Now, it says you and your beloved are going on a trip. Well, there it is. But something happens. And maybe the trip doesn't go as well as you thought it would. Maybe this is somebody that you met and you thought everything was hunky-dory. I'm going to try to shuffle those. I can't do it. Okay, there we go. I can't rifle them. And maybe you thought this relationship was going to be great. Then you get there and you find out it's really not so great. Maybe the person isn't really what you thought or the way you thought they were going to be. Right? But it still does not explain. It's what it says this way, and is that this Empress even walks away, and there's a mourning, there's a loss here, but so does he. But look at what he's walking into. So I'm going to look at this Eight of Cups, and I'm just going to have to pull 3 cards the best I can, okay? The Suspiri, the sighing, the longing, the waiting, okay? The ship, your ship has sailed. But what's I find to be most interesting about this card is that this card is about the fear of something being projected into the future. See that crooked arrow? It says that whatever this lady's upset about, this figure is upset about, whatever she's crying about, whatever she's lamenting, okay, is based upon a projection of something in the future. So I don't know if this is a financial issue or if this is literally a third party here. So let's pull the rest of the cards and see. The letterato. Well, typically the letterato is someone who's very learned, but in this case, in a situation, this is the idea of waiting to talk to someone. You see, he's waiting for someone to enter into the room. Okay? And the Viaggio. Well, there's that trip. So again, there's this idea that there's some kind of trip, whether this is going to a marriage or whether this was supposed to be your marriage. And I feel that maybe you got down there and you can't get back. I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe you spent more money than you should. I don't know. But it could also be, I go back to that thing of saying that this is almost to me as if you went somewhere with someone and it turned out not to be the greatest thing ever. Let me try to... Okay, that's about all I can do with this without a thumb here. So let's pull cards on this 9 of Pentacles. The letter. The woman with children. And the Belvedere. That's an odd card to come out. So this is news. And I don't know if the news comes while you're on the trip or if news comes before the trip or you get the news after the trip. News from, this is a Queen of Pentacles here. So normally she would be an earth sign female. She will typically have dark hair, maybe rather dark complected, but not always. This person might have children, but basically the characteristics is it is someone who is rather a nurturing type of person. They're good with money. They have common sense. They are trustworthy. That's in the positive. Okay? But we also see this Belvedere. And again, this card is associated with the idea of waiting. The anxiety and all the emotions associated with waiting. But it also says for you, we know that the approach is coming because the telescope is turned the wrong way around. So you are looking at something closely, but you're looking at it from far away, approaching you. So I think you know this is coming. This is the Great Foresight card, okay? And so what this says is to mind your own business in the meantime and start to look within as to why maybe you find yourself in this particular situation and what are you going to do to get yourself out of it. I'm going to pull another set of cards and I'm going to look at this 8 of Swords here. Now, the letter is just that. It's news. And it can be bills, it can be faxes, emails, text messages, phone calls. You have to remember these cards come from the 13th and 14th century. So, you know, the only way they had to communicate back then was written. But now we have many more ways to communicate with each other. And so this news, I think, is imminent. Usually within a week or so, the letter says. It is a generic type of news. I would say that. However, with her on the back end awaiting this, I say that the news, this is something that you already know about, or at least were aware of. I'm going to try to... The Messaggeri. Wow. The Lamante male. Wow, would you look at that? And the Allegrezza al Cuore. Well, somebody is going to hear the news that someone got married or is about to get married. This is what this is telling me. Let me stay right there because there's something about this letter card. I gotta go grab my book. Hold on, be right back. There's something about the letter card. That is piquing my interest. Okay, so bear with me 1 second. The letter. Okay, it is a neutral card. Again, as I said, it can signal any kind of and all kinds, the arrival of it. But look, the letter follows the. So the energy is traveling back. Oh, you can't even look. Sorry. What I was saying was the letter is following the trip. You see that? And all of these figures are faced this way. So I think this is saying to me in one instant that usually within a week or two, and this might be after the trip or the visit, whatever this is occurring, this is when the news comes or arrives. Now, the Messaggeri is quite different, and he is a Knight of Pentacles. Okay? And the difference between this card and this card is that this is news that has to be signed for or hand delivered. Okay? Or sent by special messenger. And it implies that the news will not be generic like that of the letter, where you can hear it, overhear it in a conversation. It can come on the TV, the radio, you know, you hear it. And it says that when this arrives, it is going to be of a much greater import and will be given by someone who can alter your personal life. Here you are being sad and despondent. But I don't know who this guy is. Someone who gives you the news about this wedding. And maybe what this is was news that you were planning the wedding. You were planning on becoming this individual. But something went wrong. I can't figure out. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. I can't figure out what went wrong. Or askew. I can't quite figure that out. So what I'm going to do if I can find my cards here, because I've been doing so much that I don't even know what I'm doing. Well, let me just reach down in my box of cards and see if I can pull out here's something you guys haven't seen in a long time. The romance angels. We shall see what is happening with my little thumb here that's not working. So we're going to just shuffle, formulate your question, because something has gone sideways, and I don't know if this is like if you had a child that was getting married. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, if you had a child that was getting married, or you yourself expected to get married, or maybe you were traveling to go to a friend's wedding, but then something went wrong, obviously so. And this card represents a wedding. Okay, this is happiness of the heart. And the actual depiction of the card, that little deal that the lady has on her head was something that Italian brides used to wear back in the 14th century. And the color of the clothing connects these three figures together. If you'll notice, this figure has a red top and green bottom. Where is he? Right there. She's got a green top and a red bottom. This is her brother, so that's a family member. And that person over here, that's the groom. But I don't know what that is all about. Okay, you get news about this from somebody that you know. That's what that tells me. You're waiting for word of it, or somebody's waiting for word of it. It is coming. All right, we've got the question formulated. One of these days, y'all, I'm gonna figure out how to get my camera right. There we go. Formulate your question. Here it is. One card, and we shall see what the romance angels have to say. It says a past life relationship. You have known each other before. Oh my goodness. But what do I tell you guys about past life relationships? They can be different. Somebody's telling me this is a twin flame relationship, but I don't know. So let me just read this. Somebody just said, no, it's I heard you. But no, that's not what this is, I don't think. So let me read this to you. The romance angel sent you this card to explain the relationship you have inquired about. You have some unfinished business in conjunction, and I don't think that's an accident that the word conjunction has come up around this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. So let me read it again. You have some unfinished business in conjunction with the soulmate from a past life. This may involve forgiving someone, a joint project, or learning personal lessons such as patience. Soulmates recognize each other instantly, and this feeling is often registered as a sense of romantic or sexual chemistry. The magnetism that draws two people together can surpass logic, because the purpose of the relationship is healing and learning. Whether or not your soulmate becomes your life partner, you will experience personal and spiritual lessons and growth as a result. Whatever this is, and however this is playing out, I do feel that by December 21st of 2020, there will be some light shed on it for you. Okay? Quite the interesting reading. I hope this helped you. And so until next time, namaste and take care of yourselves. And remember, I'm going to be leaving the links to Jessica's channel, to the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction at Meetup, and also the Psychic Fair on Meetup. So I hope to see you guys there. All right, bye.